Hey, what's up, Insanity Instructor? It's your boy, Shaun T. We might have a special guest that pops on today because that special guest is always up in something.
Me?
Who else?
Oh.
Anyway, so I'm really excited that the Insanity, I'm here with you, Insanity Instructors. It's really fun. It's been really fun and exciting to be a part of this journey for a little bit as Danielle Natoni has resigned from this position. But when did they get the actual video?
It dropped at midnight last night.
Oh, so you guys may have already seen the video and seen the really special moment that happened during the Insanity round 36 filming, which is really exciting. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, obviously, because I'm sure you're all busy, but I'm just going to jump right into this. What's new and what's fun? First of all, I'm going to start ahead. I'm going to go to round 37, and you're going to see the stuff that we're going to talk about right now for round 36 is going to be enhanced in round 37. And when you get round 37, you're going to see now that Insanity, you are now going to progress each block so that we really opened it up to be available to all different levels. And it is a great way to seamlessly introduce the class, every single class, to people who may be as fit as you are as an instructor all the way down to a beginner. And the reason why I introduce progressive movements in round 37 is because that's how I teach my live classes. And I used to have a lot of people modifying when I would teach Insanity. And when I started doing my progression rounds, it wasn't an issue. Everyone felt comfortable and everyone felt excited. So that's going to come up in round 37. But I'm just going to go through this little document right here so I can get you all up to date. So round 36, here's what's new. I'm going to read some because I just kind of like the way it's written. So obviously, welcome to the revamped round of Insanity Live. This is going to feature some changes for your students and for you as a teacher. You also notice that the blocks in this round are going to be extremely focused, so that not only is it going to enhance your class in terms of the science behind it, but it's also going to really help with people getting results. Because one of the most important things about you being a group exercise instructor that I think gets lost, hey Jay, I think one of the things that gets lost in being an Insanity instructor or a group exercise instructor as a whole is how do we continue to get our participants results? It's not just about having the amount of numbers in your classes. How are they going to continue to come back? So that's really exciting about how we revamped the blocks, and the live team at Beachbody obviously had a lot to do with this. I didn't know we were doing laundry too. Had a lot to do with this, and it's fun. So anyway, it's going to help you have meaningful classes, and you'll see that Insanity obviously is going to be very clear that it's more than just a bunch of moves put together. It is actually a well thought out process so that they get Insanity is a total body workout. So every single class, your participants will get a full body workout. In addition to what's really important is each new round is going to have a story. It's not just going to be like, hey Tim, what's up? It's not just going to be like, hey, take this class. What is the story behind this round? It's going to make it more fun and easy for you to motivate people and help people understand that they're building something, whether it's their core, whether it's their endurance, whether it's their plyometric muscular endurance. So that's going to be a lot of things that happen with this new round. Stick with me here. And then more importantly, I think the thing is, this is the most important. As all of you know, you had to get certified to teach in a gym, so the education is going to be aligned with what's happening in the industry as it is. And I will give credit where credit is due. Barb has done a really great job of really reaching out to people, sending Chip and I countless amount of voice memos to make sure that we're on, having lives with people who are being involved in the production of Insanity, so that this class is going to turn into, it's going to be Insanity, but it's going to be new. It's going to be fun for you to go teach. It's going to be a little bit challenging for you to teach, but your classes, and your class is going to fill up. You'll be able to walk into a gym and say, hey, the person on the treadmill who always on the treadmill, who's afraid to take your class, hey, we have revamped the structure of this class so that it's available for everybody. But you'll get that in round 37. But for now, we want to continue to enhance the quality and the fun of the round. And the last and what's most important before I get into each block and how they are built is just, we actually listen to you guys. Even when you send the feedback, what's really, really cool is I take it and I'm like, okay, how can we do this? How can we make it better? How can we make it more fun? And we're restructuring the way you give us feedback, which is a little behind the scene things that's happening, so that it's not open-ended questions. It's more about let's get really specific, because as we move into who's going to take over Insanity, because I've done the last couple rounds, but who's going to take over Insanity, it'll all be aligned with what it is that you want. Okay, so here's the fun, and I promise I'm not going to take too long on this. So block 1 is coordination and stability, and we're about to have guests in the Transformation Center, guys, just FYI. Coordination and stability, and this is block 1, and this is after the warm-up and everything. I want you to think about now you're going to be able to build your class, and when people come into your class, it's going to say, oh, congratulations, Andy, for getting certified. You're going to be able to come in your class after the warm-up, block 1, coordination and stability. We are literally going in while the moves are going to be obviously Insanity. It's going to be heart pumping. The music's going to be going. There's a focus, coordination and stability. And for this round 36, the coordination and stability story is all built around the tabletop position. Because a lot of times we're in plank, we do in and out abs, we do all these things where people move and they fire up their muscles, but this is really built around tabletop stability, so you can really focus on the trunk, right? And how do each of your levers, if you will, your arms, your toes, your feet, your legs, your calves, how do they play a part in building your core? And so that's the deeper version, Anyway, so block 1, coordination stability. It's going to improve muscles, obviously your balance. It's going to reinforce proper alignment, and obviously the moves, it's going to help you actually prepare for the moves that might be a little bit more challenging in the later blocks. And that's the part that's really cool. As we start to build this story, what's going to happen is, whereas before someone may have felt uncoordinated in block 3, in block 1 you've already done a piece of this movement. So now you're just kind of reinstating the movement, but adding another piece to it, maybe a plyo move, or as we go along, you'll see with the first and second blocks. So then we go to block 2. Key points I want to say: alignment, neutral spine, obviously in the coordination and stability, and especially with the tabletop story. And then being in the moment, because whenever you need to use your core, you have to be extremely smart and balanced. Okay. Block 2, we go to strength. And that's obviously, everyone knows what strength is. For me, it's about muscular endurance. As all of you know, I developed Insanity. I had no help. I literally developed this from being a track and field athlete. And so one of the things that help you win or lose a race is what happens in the last 70 meters. And what happens in the last 70 meters is your muscular endurance. If you come around the last curve of a 400-meter dash, what happens is you feel like everything that you've ever eaten and everything that you've ever seen, buildings, food, have just piled on your shoulders and you can't move. And why is that happening? Because your muscular endurance, now it's like, okay, this is where I have to push. And that's where dig deep comes from. So now you know it's not just about dig deep to push harder. It's like, this is what's happening to your body. So when we talk about strength and Insanity and movements that are obviously plyometric and powerful and speed, now it's like, how do I keep up this speed longer? And where endurance is it coming from? Of course, it's coming from cardiovascular endurance, but your muscular endurance is very important. So that is going to improve muscular endurance, strength and endurance, obviously the combination of the two, and then incorporates eccentric work. You know, eccentric, and then concentric contractions, right? So how are we lengthening the body? So while this round is still built about the tabletop position, where are you lengthening? You're lengthening in the arms, right? You have to sometimes step out, step in, so you're gonna lengthen in the hips. You're gonna have to fire up the quads when you push the toe back when you hit that plank position. So all of this is gonna go into one thing, and one major thing in block 2, and slow is strong. So when you now you have the freedom to tell your class, move slower in block 2, you're gonna be stronger, right? So that's how this has worked out. And then that, by you giving people freedom, you know, as a presenter all around the world and going to places that don't even speak English, you know, if you slow things down, everyone feels successful. And that's it. You know, just slow it down. And then people don't feel like they have to keep up with this person and keep up with that person. That's what Dig Deep is for, and we'll talk about that later. So block 3, speed, agility, and power. So we combined all these two because speed and agility is, oh, look at the guests walking through. Speed and agility, obviously, and what I want you to think about is if any of you have ever done Asylum, speed and agility really takes precedence in that workout because you have the ladder, you have to look, you have proprioception, vestibuloception. It's all of these things that are happening when you're actually working out in terms of like your coordination, taking it from block 1 and being able to add speed and then having agility. And then obviously insanity is how powerful can you be as you push through the class. So just some notes on that. Strength plus speed equals power, right? How strong are you from block 2? And then we're adding the speed in, and then we're gonna increase the power. It says on my notes, we laid a foundation of going insane, but you already know that. And then we talked about agility, changing directions, forward, back, feet moving, also your brain. But because you had coordination and stability in block 1, the coordination is there, so now people's minds are actually literally thinking, okay, how do I stay coordinated? And then adding speed to that. Some of the key points: in order to remain insane, proper alignment must be maintained. Write that down. In order to remain insane, proper alignment must be maintained. And that's your job as an instructor to slow things down, even though it's speed, because you can ramp it up. And like I said, in round 37, what's gonna happen is you're gonna see how I'm gonna progress the movements forward so that everyone feels comfortable no matter what your fitness level. And then total body alignment is required again. Okay, so like when you're moving fast, you still have to have great posture. You still have to make sure that the balls of your feet are hitting. If you've ever done pure contact from Asylum Volume 2, you'll see that when you're jumping and you're utilizing your feet in the right way, then you know you can still keep great alignment and not bending at the hips, bending in wrong ways, and your body is aligned. Block 4 is core. We all know that. I always say, use your core. You can't really just train your abs alone because everything goes into that, right? So you have to understand that, and your core is collarbone to mid-thigh. But also, because this round is based on the stories about the tabletop, you're really going to have to put that into play, collarbone to mid-thigh, because in the tabletop position, obviously you have eccentric contraction of the biceps, you have concentric contraction of the triceps. So now now you have all of the, up top you have all of the alignment holding you. So now you have collarbone, hips into your quads because your knees are going to be slightly bent. So it's going to be fired up, okay? Some key points: quality over quantity, again, slowing it down. Teach proper alignment and core engagement, which we've talked about the entire time here. And then remind that the core has been working all throughout the class. So if people feel slightly weak, just slightly weak in the core, tell them it's not weakness, it's just useness, it's useful. It's useful burn. And I think that's one of the things that you can tell your class when they start to get a little bit overstimulated and they get overstimulated in the core and they feel like they're weak. No, you've had useful moments as you've gone through the class, and it should be. Now, power moves and dig deeper. So we have the power moves and dig deeper. So now that last and final block is going through all of the power moves, hitting it 1 minute each. It is a night effing mare, but it's so great, and it puts insanity to the test. And then it takes all of these blocks, coordination and stability, strength, speed, agility, and power, and your core, puts them all into one place. And then obviously your class now knows that they can move slower. I'm telling you right now, try in that power move, the dig deeper section, go as slow as you possibly can. I'm telling you, you think you're like, oh, I'm not gonna burn calories, this, that, and the third, but guess what? You're gonna utilize the power, you're gonna utilize everything you've learned along the way. Some tips to educate your class. Obviously, I've said slow or strong, I've said that. In order to go insane, we have to get stronger first, but to enhance that, you have to remind your class, you're already strong. You're already strong. You're strong because you can walk up the steps, you can pick up a weight, you can do a lunge, you can do a squat. Now it's just building that strength individually and going at your own pace to dig deeper in your way. And then that obviously takes the first tip back to slow or strong. To get stronger, we must allow our bodies to learn to move at a slow pace. I know I'm honing in the slow thing, but that's what coordination and stability is about. Like allowing your body to learn, and then improving deceleration and eccentric contraction, loading, improving power and control. So as you notice, this entire thing is about just slowing down, guys. Like, just slow down. Some moves with speed and agility and power, you'll see people like picking it up and going. The strength block will be a little slower. Block one, coordination and stability, will take a little thought process. Then you have core, and then you have dig deeper, where you can go for it, but still move at a slow pace if you need to. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy round 36. Take all of these tips to motivate your class and build your class. Don't just show up expecting people to come every single week. Don't rely on your first front row divas to give you the energy for the class. Go out into that gym. Go to the gym when you're not working. If you have a membership there and you can work out, formulate and build relationships with people in the gym to get people to come to your class, so you can have all different levels, so that you can literally start to build yourself as an instructor and build your class. And now you don't have to wait for people to show up. All you have to do is know that they are excited about seeing you and knowing that you're going to motivate them. Give them a reason to show up other than just digging deeper. Be their motivator, be their instructor, and always trust and believe in who you are. And thank you so much. And I can't wait till you get round 37. And then last but not least, I know you all know Danielle Natoni. Maybe you've sent a message to her or not, but go flood her DMs. Give her a thank you for her service to Insanity since its inception of live. And in this round, she passes the baton back to me just for a moment until we move on to our next format, expert, or whatever we're going to call them. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I see a lot of thanks, and I really appreciate your time. And have an amazing day. Peace out.